You're listening to Becoming Slowly with Beck Mills. This is a quiet space for thoughtful, honest conversations about change, creativity, and coming back to yourself. I'm glad you're here. This podcast is now called Becoming Slowly. It feels more honest. It's been a little while since I recorded last. Life got full, as it often does, and now here I am, starting again, just where I am. This podcast has always been a place to think out loud, to notice the things that are sitting with me at the time, and to reflect on what it means to start again and again, quietly and gently. Today I want to talk about what it feels like to begin again without drama, without pressure, and what it really looks like to give yourself permission to return. Let's sit with that together for a little while. I'm going to be recording when I have something to say, and today felt like one of those moments. We are starting again. Without drama, without a big, loud bang of excitement. Where am I right now? We've moved towns, just recently. We've been here at time of recording for 3 weeks. I finally feel like my nervous system has definitely settled in, and it's starting to settle into a new routine. So this is the kids, they're settling back. They're settling back into a school routine, even though it's at a new school for them. So lots of firsts, lots of new people, lots of new things around them all day. And even though I've moved back to a town that I've lived in before, everything is feeling completely different. Or maybe it's just me. And I'm sure you know the feeling that I'm talking about. So yeah, we're in a new town, and I guess the role that I'm playing with the work that I do from home in our business has changed slightly as well. It's our home is also smaller than the last home, which I'm finding is actually I was a little bit frustrated in the beginning when I was unpacking a lot, but I'm finding actually now it's really, really nice size for us. And I feel like there was probably a month, probably a month that I was on like a high alert, and that was with the final lot of packing at the house, and really trying to be present with the kids. It was school holidays as well. Really trying to be present with them emotionally through the process. I found it took a lot out of me, but I am actually really proud of how we managed, even though we had bumps along the road, which is to be expected. I was really worried about them transitioning. So I feel like the nervous system was definitely on high alert for a while there. And, even the first week that we were here, and maybe trying to force routines a bit, which never really works, because life gets lifey as it does. And then settling into the school, like I was waking up early, trying to get these things done. Just felt like there was like this massive sense of urgency almost to settle in, rather than letting things unfold. I just felt like it had to get done, or whatever, had to get done quickly. And some days I still feel that lingering, but today felt different. Yesterday I accidentally slept in. Not sure what happened with my alarm. I know it went off at the normal time, but I did have a backup alarm set yesterday, which is interesting, but I don't know if I just didn't wake up or whether I turned it off in my sleep. Anyway, I slept in and hubby rang and it woke me up and I was like, oh crap. And I was like, oh no. And I like bounded out of bed. And he's like, that's fine. You still got all this time before you got to get to school. I was like, yeah, true. It was almost like my nervous system was like, it's okay. Like you can let go of a bit of that high and, start to settle in, and definitely feeling safe and secure. That has, like, as the weeks have gone on and as the days have gone on and the nights, that feeling, has definitely evolved, and definitely feeling a lot more secure and, yeah, like, oh, this, so it feels, yeah, like, oh, sorry, I was totally off topic. I, totally went on a tangent there. Today I woke up and I did feel different. In my core, like in my nervous system, I felt different. So we walked with the kids over to school. And as I was walking back, I just found I was taking deeper breaths and I was like, this is it. And then I thought of the podcast, which, here we are. So before we moved, a couple of weeks before we moved, I had like a big burst of energy with the podcast. And I'm like, yes, I want to get this going again. I had this totally new vision about what I kind of always thought it would be, but somehow, a weird ended up somewhere different the last time I released a season. And yeah, like those episodes were full of excitement and full of the same sort of topics, like fresh starts, but this really feels more authentic. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy it as well. And it does feel a bit strange, and it also feels freeing to be starting again on this podcast, and to be starting again, but quietly, without the hoo-ha, without the social media stuff. I'm just really pulling it back to the basics, and yeah, it feels freeing to be starting again quietly. And I really felt an urge to share this with you today, that you absolutely can start again quietly. It doesn't have to be New Year's Eve. It doesn't have to be January 1st or the first week of January. It doesn't have to be committing to 6 months or that 30-day challenge, or it doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be posted all over social media. You don't have to tell all your family and friends. You don't have to have big, loud evidence of what you want to go after. And, sometimes I do feel like all those things are helpful at times. Absolutely. All those things are helpful. You can start again on something. You can return to something, and you can do it quietly. You can do it at your own pace, or start again at your own pace. And to let you know that it can feel pretty freeing and nice and joyful. And, just the podcast as an example is definitely a creative outlet in a lot of ways, but it's also a way of processing things. It's a way of calling out my own crap. But it's also a way that I process change, and growth. And, I feel like out in the world, we don't always have conversations that touch this deep on subjects. Maybe you do, and that's wicked. But that this may be a safe space for you. You may be able to think about some of these things as well, and how you're feeling about them. And yeah, and it's okay to take a break, and it's okay to return, and it's okay not to have a big reason for why you've taken a break on something. And whether that's it could be a creative project as well, something you've been working on. It could be a goal that you have, a dream. It could be, who knows, it could be something to do with your work. But yeah, feeling freer in not having to have a big backstory of why and explaining why you've taken a break from something, and just returning quietly to it, just seeing how it feels and just giving it a go, whether it's for 10 minutes or you may have longer to spend on it, but just seeing how you feel when you return to it is really cool. And one of the reasons that I felt like recording today was I felt like I needed to be still, take a pause, and just notice what's happening now, but also what's been unfolding over the last, few months really, but in the last few weeks especially. And yeah, I find it is one of those things that's helpful to process these feelings and out loud, essentially. And yeah, I wanted to share that with you today. In terms of taking a break, so from the podcast, when was the last time I recorded? I reckon it was probably March or April 2025. And that sounds so long ago, but the years go so fast. When you're young, that older people in your life always tell you that, right? And then it's so true. It's so true. So what did this break from the podcast teach me? It taught me not to force the podcast. I felt so much like I didn't want to let people down. Like I felt like I had to record every week. I felt like I had to record a certain number of podcasts, and, insert here whatever your goal or your thing that you have been working on or want to return to. So I'm just using the podcast as an example. But like, what has the break taught you in a way? And it's taught me be patient. It's taught me not to force it. I've learned a lot about how, when I'm trying to force something, something about it just feels off. And yeah, that's probably the biggest thing what it taught me. And that also, it's okay. It's okay to have a break from these things. And yeah, someone might miss your episodes or whatever, but you've got to sometimes give things a break just to, I guess, realign yourself with what's right for you. And in terms of recording the episodes, I really missed, it sounds so funny because you're just literally talking out loud to yourself when you're recording, which is totally fun and was really weird at first. And I used to do a lot of live videos with the online business that I had a few years ago. And so I guess I was kind of used to talking out loud to myself in a lot of ways. But the actual process of recording, I feel like it gave a lot of relief in my body, which I don't really know how to explain. I guess sometimes people feel that with things like journaling. I have a thing, like, if there is something that you're wanting to return to, but maybe you're finding it tricky to return to that thing for whatever reason, like, what do you miss about it? What do you think the break has taught you? Life during the gap between when I last recorded and published an episode on here and now, life has been very full, as it is for all of us. And there was I had a lot of roles that and I just kept saying to myself, I don't have time to record a podcast, but probably because I felt pretty stretched at the time. And probably because I felt like I couldn't keep up with publishing a weekly episode, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was pretty full, and I was having a break, but I did miss it. I did miss it. I did want to do it, and I love that process of recording. I did find I did find that I started a little bit of other, I love upcycling clothing and changing it, and especially love working with denim. So I did do a little bit of that in small pockets of time. But yeah, there's just something about this coming back to the podcast. And it's funny because I actually had a break from the podcast. So I released a season 1, and what happened was I went really gung-ho, lots of episodes, and then I had a break for about, it wasn't quite a year, it was probably 8 or 9 months, and then I did season 2, and then it's been obviously another nearly 12 months, and I guess what's different about now coming back to the podcast, which wasn't before, is that I really sat down and I did do a little bit of writing and a bit of journaling about it, and what I wanted the podcast to be, and really reflecting on why I thought I had to be a certain way when it doesn't. It can be whatever we want it to be, just like all the things that you want to go after and return to. It can be whatever we want it to be, and it's funny now coming back and returning to it. I felt like I was putting a lot of pressure for no reason on it, the podcast, and on myself, and yeah, there's this quiet sort of, how do I explain that? It's like a quiet, maybe evolution, it's evolving how I want to have the podcast as part of my day or week or month or whenever it is. Because like I said, I'm just going to be recording when I have something to say and to chat about, and it feels like relief. It really does. It's relieving to accept that and give that to myself. So yeah, when we come about it quietly, not with loud bangs and, that really strong, fresh new year energy or fresh start energy, when we step back from that and return to things quietly and start again, what does it really look like? I guess it looks like, yeah, you might have a yearning to do some of that work or work on something, a project that you have. It definitely starts with that, and then to do it quietly, it's just, okay, have I got what I need to do the thing? Yeah. Have I got what I need here? Yeah, I do. Cool. It's not, oh gosh, I got to run out and grab 600 things to start doing it again. You might need 1 or 2 things, but it's also looking at your pockets of your day and deciding, where, could I do it, but not forcing anything. And yeah, it looks like this, just releasing it out into the world, and, well, you might not even do that. I'm just talking about the podcast. It's reflecting on what it feels like while you're doing it. I think that's really cool. And it looks like just giving yourself permission to perhaps do it in a way that's, it might be less often, it might be without so much structure, it might be just 10 minutes versus thinking you have to have 2 hours to do something. Really giving yourself permission to to try something again. And I feel like we need to give ourselves permission a lot more. Just so. When we try and restart something with, sort of like guilting ourselves into it, it never, well, I don't think it ever ends well. It feels forced. Life happens. Oh my God, life gets lifey. And if you're guilting yourself all the time, I think it's just punishing yourself. It's, try just giving yourself permission to just do it for a couple of minutes and see how you feel. I think when we're starting something again, and maybe you're starting something again too, it could be like a hobby, like I said, or it could even be things like starting a friendship again, or catching up after a really long time and you're not sure how it's going to go. Maybe you're starting to think about your career or, a new job or something like that as well. And I think we're all, there's something in the back of your mind that's just sitting there and just reminding you every now and then, like, hey, I'm still here. You can start me again. Or you can start thinking about me again. And it's just know it's okay. Like, it's okay to begin slowly. It's okay to not have to be on a strict timeline. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to look like your friend's way of doing something. You do not have to have it all figured out. That is for sure. And, like even with podcasts, I've been like checking out a new platform that I wasn't using before. Spotify had like completely changed in the time since I last recorded. So I've had to figure out another way. And most of all, it is okay to not have to explain about having a break from doing it or even coming back, why you want to come back to doing it. You don't have to. Just know that I am cheering for you and that this is a place to feel heard and seen in that process. And just know that absolutely you can get back to doing things or return to something or even go after something, start doing something and do it quietly without a big bang. Starting again doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be quiet, steady as well, and it's enough. So I'll be back when I have something to say again. Today, this felt like the right moment. Thank you for sitting with me. I hope you have a lovely day. That's it for today. A little reflection, a little noticing. Thank you for being here with me. Until next time, take care.